What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another SinoAlice video. And for the weekend, I just wanted to do kind of a prep guide of, I know some people are still working on invaders for their guild. It's a very different event that we have that's got about 4 days left. That, you know, obviously you want to do as well as you can, getting those points up to try to get whatever milestone your guild is going for, whether you're for top 300, 500, 1,000, 100, whatever the case may be. But you do want to take some time to take a couple of days, whether you do it after invaders and you're playing a little catch up, or if you want to just commit a day or two, depending how much stamina tickets you guys have for the armor event. And the reason why this armor event is important is because you are going to need this armor to be truly effective for the next raid. The next raid is going to be very tough because of the weapon types needed, and not a lot of that element have been released in the game. That a lot of, particularly for DPS, not necessarily for support, but for DPS, it's going to be a lot harder, I feel, than the last two raids that we've had for the armor specific typing. So you guys here, the golden armor are going to be what we're going to be using for this particular raid. So if we go up here, you guys see we have a staff, we have a tome, we have a hammer, and we have a projectile. So obviously, you guys see here the element effect that it's going to be good against is going to be beast types. You guys also see here it's going to increase the effect of when elemental ranged skills and increase the skill effect against beasts. So what you guys are going to want to do if you guys are DPS, you're going to want to be farming stages, I believe, 9 and 5. And I believe if you are a support, you're going to want to farm, it's either 4 and 10 or 6 and 10. So those are the stages you're going to want to farm. Now the drop rate is pretty low. It ranges anywhere from 1 to 5% depending on the item. I ended up doing most of my farming at 9. For myself, I'm going to be sticking to projectile set. So that's what I went to. I would have gone projectile even regardless of me getting Dorothy, because I have like 2 L hammers. So I have more weapons for projectiles than I do for hammers for sure. And the other benefit for the DPS characters, as long as you guys do somewhat good in this invader event, you are going to get a free projectile wind weapon that goes to L rarity. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. So let's go over the boss and what he does and what he's going to have access to. So Fenrir, he is a water beast type enemy. So his physical attack is 5-star, so he's going to deal a lot of physical attack damage. So if you guys have a lot of physical defense, that is going to help you. His physical defense is 3-star, so pretty decent resistance to physical defense. A magical attack, I think that's what that means, is 1-star, so not a lot of magical attack wielding. Magical defense, 1-star. So that is the big thing here. So obviously the projectile is going to be more beneficial than will the hammer. Keep in mind also the hammer is an AoE, so that is another big thing there. To, you know, he is going to be more resistant to physical based weapons than to magical based weapons. He's pretty fast, he's got 4 speed, and he has a 1-star for AoE. So I believe it says right here, you can fight in an advantageous way by organizing a long number of long handle, injection, and magic tools. So basically kind of saying you want to go for a lot of magic based. So lowering magic defense is going to be good for sorcerers. Raising magic attack is going to be good for any minstrels you bring, or any you know, hybrids that are going to be bringing instruments. And it looks like his AoEs are not going to be as bad. So he probably is going to be doing a lot of good single target physical based damage. So once again, vanguards that have high physical defense is going to be very good. Especially when you prioritize your subgrid, or if you just don't have enough of your regular grid to have like a lot of wind projectile weapons or even water projectile weapons, then you might just want to bring some other filler weapons that can give you a lot of physical defense so you're more durable. So that's something to note. Now the obtainable nightmare you get is himself, obviously. He is going to have Aquarius Blessing too. So when you evolve him, he will go to L and he will have 3. Keep in mind, because he is not gacha or paid, he is going to cost you SP, so he should cost you, I believe, I believe since he's a raid nightmare, he still costs 200. They generally always cost 200. I can check that later on. What does it say here? It doesn't actually show that. So we'll click on that in a little bit after we go through the rest of this grid. But here, the bonus effects. So Hunter's Soul is the bonus effect. Increased skill damage to beast. In Gold Series, affect 50%. So once again, more damage for your wind, ranged, and hammer. So projectile and hammer obviously are going to be the way to go. Now granted, if you have pole arms that are also wind, those are still beneficial to bring for this. They will help out in the waves of previously, obviously being AoE, and they still are the wind element, so they will deal more damage being wind types, but they will not deal more damage being, since obviously we don't have a pole arm type armor. So you will lose out on DPS there, but still the elemental advantage will be useful. And once again, definitely I think bringing your pole arms is going to be more beneficial than bringing like your swords, simply because he's going to resist physical defense a lot more. And then obviously tomes and staff for wind are here kind of self-explanatory. And here, effective 30% for fire on the head, body, feet, hands, and then range. It just kind of shows you as an effective 30% here. And then Scion Series has effective 50% for ranged water across the board, polearm water across the board, tome water, and then staff water. And then your area of effect bonus is going to be Dorothy, obviously. So that probably is going to incentivize a lot of people to be playing Sorcerer Dorothy that we got from the story for the rear guards. And then obviously the #1 unit to bring for your vanguards is going to be your projectile Dorothy if you guys were lucky enough to pull her in the step up. So kind of a downer that she is gacha. I think the last couple of events we've had have been like story characters. Like I believe Alice Spear before was a story character. And then I know obviously there's a bunch of different, I think the rear guards though had to have gacha nightmares, because I think Alice Sorcerer and Alice Minstrel were both gacha, but you could have also brought, and even Cleric Alice, yeah, actually all three of those I believe are gacha, unless there is a free-to-play Alice in any of those categories, but I know for sure like Cleric Alice was like the first gacha Alice, and then we just recently had Sorcerer and Minstrel Alice. So let's click on him though, and let's check him out here. So yeah, he does cost 200 SP, and even at Evolved, he is going to cost you 200 SP for your Colosseum, and then 50 SP for your PvE content. And you guys see your stats at level 80 is going to be 3874. Now you can get him on par to, if you want to dump a lot of tablets into him for your counter to Freeze Golem. He basically is Freeze Golem, a free-to-play Freeze Golem. Obviously, Freeze Golem is going to have way more stats. Even at level 80, I believe he has more stats. Let me go check on Freeze Golem real fast. Okay, so if we go to Freeze Golem, even at just level 80, he has about 200 more stats than our boy Fenrir. So obviously, if you guys have Freeze Golem, he's not great. The Fenrir is not great to get. I'm pretty sure everyone's guild probably has a Freeze Golem at this point. Even though he has been on raid up, a lot of people bought him early on in the Royal Shop. Or if you randomly did pull him off banner, that is, obviously an option as well. But I would say for farming wise, this event is probably one of the more skippable events, to be honest, because the Nightmare isn't a necessity to get. Jormundir was very good to get if you were a rear guard, and then even Ogre was good even if you were a vanguard, just because Ogre's ability is just absolutely bonkers of how much of a additional effect you get from the Justice that we've all been using before on Global. So honestly, if this is an event you guys just don't feel comfortable really trying to hit the numbers you need to beat it, you probably could skip farming this event if you guys really want to. Like I said, the Nightmare isn't a necessity yet. The big thing of why a lot of people do want to farm this event is getting the elemental cores for the raids eventually down the road when you guys can start crafting those. It's probably a big thing. I know me, Rooks, and also in my guild and Discord, we talk about that a lot on a regular basis, about just trying to get every core that comes out, try to get your 30 clears, not necessarily going for max limit breaking the Nightmares is like the big thing to try to do during the event time period. But these do get rerun eventually, so But those are kind of all the tips and tricks that, you know, just to keep in mind, guys. If you guys are going to be working on the armor event, those are the things you want to be looking out for, and those are the things you guys want to be getting. So like I said, staffs and sorcerers for the rear guards, either one is going to be fine. And then definitely bow is going to be the primary one that you want to try to get a hold of if you have a couple weapons you can use. And like I said, guys, the invader event, when that leaves, we will get that invader's gun if you guys did. I think you got to get like in the top like 5,000 or 1,000 guilds, something like that. So hopefully everyone gets there. We're like floating in the top 300 range right now. So we'll get, I think it's 4 copies total. I think top 300 can get an LV3. So good luck to you guys, whether you guys are farming the invader event, whether you guys are farming the armor event. I hope you guys get those drops. Hope you guys get enough medals that you guys are all searching for either event. And let me know if this video was helpful to you guys as far as preparation goes for the next upcoming Conquest or raid event. If you guys did enjoy today's content, make sure you guys drop a like down below, hit subscribe if you guys are new, and ring that bell so you don't miss the next SinoAlice or other mobile gaming content here on Fort Misery Gaming. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Be safe as always.